Hey everybody, just waiting for magic to load here. It's taking a strangely long amount of time. Not sure why. Sometimes I have to restart, but yeah, it looks like it got there. These little splash things that they do on Magic Online now really bother me. Like, it's so low effort. I mean, they've got Arena now, which is clearly the priority as far as online gaming goes for Magic the Gathering, for Wizards of the Coast. But I mean, come on, this is still an important platform, and to put such like stupid art with, I mean, it's, look, the art is not stupid, but the combination of the art and then the corny puns, like, this is the art for privileged position, and it's like, you have the privilege of being in position to play Ravnik, blah blah blah. Like, it's just, this would not fly on Arena, you know? Like, they don't get this low effort nonsense. They get like proper marketing. Anyhow, that's my spiel. Don't know if any of you guys are with me yet, but those of you that are, that's my opinion on that stuff. So tonight, actually pretty excited to try out pretty different deck than what I've been running. It is still a Blink deck, though. Check if any of you guys are around on on the Discord. I guess that, and then 11. I don't know. Remembrance. All right, so let's see if anybody wants to join for the stream. So this deck, it was pretty cool. Yesterday, I think it was in the morning, somebody posted a link to a list that had just been like posted in a modern league that had gone 5-0. It's called Abzan Blink, and it had like some red cards in it. Had some weird synergies with Flicker Wisp and Wasteland Strangler, but kind of a weird Abzan plus red list. But the more that we started looking into this player's history of, like, you know, results that they've posted, they've been tuning, I should say, this guy Antoine, he's French, has a YouTube channel, but only really has uploaded one video in the last half year or so. He, for the last year, has just been putting up really consistent results with variations of this Abzan Blink deck. What is consistent throughout all of the different builds, as sort of wacky and varied as they are, is 4 Ether Vials, 4 Tide Hollow Scullers, 4 Flicker Wisps, 4 Wasteland Stranglers, 4 Collected Companies, 3 Eternal Witnesses. There's been varying numbers of Knights of the Reliquary. I think earlier lists started out with like the full 4 of them, along with a lot of other sort of very technical land inclusions to be able to grab with Knight of the Reliquary. So I did watch the one video, the one league that Antoine had uploaded. It's in French, and I understand a little bit of French, and I realized afterwards that I could have turned on like auto translate, which would have helped a little bit. So it was an earlier, the video is like 8 months old or something, and it was an earlier build than what you're looking at. But it's just really kind of cool watching the deck play. Those of you who have played with Collected Company and Eternal Witness know the synergy there. If you play a Collected Company and one of the 2 creatures you grab is Eternal Witness, the Witness immediately gets to get back to Collected Company because of the way that, you know, Collected Company finishes resolving, and by the time Eternal Witness's trigger goes on the stack, Collected Company is in the graveyard, ready to be gotten back by Ewit. So that's a beautiful synergy, and by itself is an awesome source of just card advantage. Right, just keep sort of churning back the collected companies with Eternal Witnesses. It's kind of funny because in all the Soul Herder builds, for the most part, people have settled on 3 Eternal Witnesses. It's just not a card that you want in hand, like on turn 1 and turn 2. It can just be pretty clunky, and it's not terrible, but it is pretty terrible when you get 2 or 3 of them, like on turn 2, turn 3. So people settle on 3 pretty consistently, and 4 Ephemerates in this deck. Now, some of Antoine's earlier builds, well, it was before Modern Horizons even, I think. So he didn't have access to Ephemerate, but in the last 3 or 4, he had, I think, 4 Ephemerates and then 4 again, and then he went down to 2 in this, I think it was the most recent one with Red that I'm mentioning. So somebody had found that list and posted it yesterday morning, and then by yesterday evening, Sunday evening, whether it was the same person or another person, they posted a link to a list by the same exact person who had just actually won the Modern Challenge this Saturday. So really sensational result for what is effectively just like a straight up brew, right? This is not a meta deck. This is not a tier deck. This is just some guy putting together a bunch of sweet cards that he thinks have powerful synergy. And you know, to a certain point, it might look like some of the cards are just included because they're good Magic cards. But there's hidden synergy like everywhere in this deck. Scavenging Ooze takes cards from the graveyard and exiles them. Wasteland Strangler needs food in the exile zone in order to sort of do its thing, right? So if the opponent doesn't have anything in exile, then Wasteland Strangler doesn't really do anything. So how do we get things in exile? Well, you know, Scavenging Ooze can help a lot. And then when Wasteland Strangler processes something, puts it back in the graveyard, you know, Scavenging Ooze can eat it again and continue growing. So even Scavenging Ooze, which just looks like a bit of a nod towards like graveyard hate, like, you know, just something that we can hit with Collected Company and screw certain decks, like, it makes Snapcaster Mage a little bit worse. It really is a synergistic piece in the deck. Kitesail Freebooter just looks like, okay, humans plays this, right? We're trying to interact with the opponent, blah, blah, blah. But Kitesail Freebooter is just extra copies of Tidehollow Sculler. Two ways that we can temporarily exile things from the opponent's hand. The reason I do this is because Wasteland Strangler can grab any of those cards out of exile, permanently sort of remove them from underneath Freebooter and Tidehollow Sculler, so that these effects sort of cease being temporary and actually permanently remove cards from the opponent's hand. Charming Prince was also not in earlier builds. It's a singleton. It's possible that Antoine thought that Ephemerate was doing so good that he wanted a 5th Blink effect. But it's also possible that there's just hidden synergies that I haven't noticed. Hey guys, so welcome to the stream. Swizz from the Discord. I look like a science teacher. Yeah, thanks. I'm looking spiffy today. I'm actually a certain type of teacher, just not a science teacher. Hey, Business Guy 3000. Welcome to the stream, everybody. I'm just so excited about this deck. I'm just going to keep chatting about it a little bit. So, one of the basic things going on in this deck is it's like a 3-drop value deck. All right, you want to maximize your 3 drops. You got the Knights, the Eternal Witnesses, the Stranglers, the Flicker Wisps, Fiend Hunter. So when you cast a Collected Company, you're always gonna hit some good stuff. You got your 2 drops too with Scooz, always a good hit, and Tidehollow Sculler. Now, sort of core things that this deck is trying to do is if you've got Flicker Wisp and Wasteland Strangler in hand, you can play Flicker Wisp and say, for example, flicker one of their Tron lands, right? It's temporarily in exile. You can then cast Wasteland Strangler or Vial it in. You know, Vial is here to help us get more creatures out on the board. Even if there's no other creatures on the battlefield, Wasteland Strangler can target Flicker Wisp. It can target itself. It doesn't matter. The point is it's going to come in and It's going to target something with its ability, even if it's our own creature. And then when that ability resolves, we get to process something from exile and put it into the opponent's graveyard. So that Tron land that we just blinked with Flicker Wisp is now just getting put in the graveyard with Wasteland Strangler. So it's a pretty powerful synergy, because Flicker Wisp can target any permanent. So if the opponent has Gristlebrand, whatever, you can flicker that and then process it with Wasteland Strangler. Hopefully at the same time targeting one of the opponent's creatures, so that you're not just flickering something and then permanently dealing with it with Wasteland Strangler, you're also dealing with one of the creatures that they have on board. Wasteland Strangler gets pretty nasty because it can grab, like suspend spells. So Ancestral Vision can get processed into the graveyard. Greater Gargadon, Rift Bolt. What is the Scape Shift one? Is Search for Tomorrow. You can just grab those things out of suspend and just like throw it in the graveyard. It's pretty strong. So that's one sort of central synergy. Another is just Ether Vial with Tide Hollow Sculler. Opponents draw step, activate Ether Vial with 2 counters, get Tide Hollow Sculler out on the board, take their best play for the turn. And then on top of all of that kind of fun, rules-intensive, kind of triggery magic, you've got these 4 Ephemerates. So in the Soulherder lists I was mentioning, we also have exactly 3 Eternal Witnesses. We also have exactly 4 Ephemerates. So for those of you guys who have sort of seen my stream before, you know how common it is to get an Eternal Witness on the board and just kind of loop the Ephemerates, So you get some value casting Ephemerate each turn cycle, and then you just get it back from the graveyard on the rebound with Eternal Witness. So we're going to be looking this evening to figure out how best to get value out of Ephemerates, and one of the most obvious ways is when Tide Hollow Sculler hits the battlefield for the first time. Its Enter the Battlefield ability goes onto the stack. It says target opponent reveals their hand, you choose a non-land from it, exile that card. But if you blink this guy with that ability on the stack, you haven't chosen a card yet. You haven't exiled a card from their hand yet. So you Ephemerate, and then it goes away, and its leave the battlefield trigger goes on when he re-enters, you get another trigger as well. So what's going to happen is when that first ETB trigger goes on the stack, the one that was on the stack when we Ephemerated, when that resolves, you're going to take a card from the opponent's hand, and that card will be exiled forever because it doesn't have an associated leaves the battlefield trigger anymore, because that leaves the battlefield trigger went on the stack when you Ephemerated it, and there was actually nothing to go back to the opponent at that point. So if you have an Ephemerate in hand, when Tide Hollow Sculler hits the battlefield, effectively you can permanently exile a card from the opponent's hand. In order to do that, once it's on the battlefield, I believe you need to have 2 Ephemerates, or like a Flicker Wisp and an Ephemerate, because the idea is you need to blink it when its ETB is on the stack. And, normally its ETB is going to be going on the stack after it got blinked. So if you want to blink it, if you want to exile things permanently, then you have to blink it again. So a lot of blinking going on. Ephemerate's going to function a lot differently in this kind of a deck than it does in Soulherder, because we're not just blinking to draw cards. We're blinking to sort of permanently deal with threats that the opponent is playing. So Fiend Hunter is kind of like a Tide Hollow Sculler, but for creatures. Both of these guys have old templating, which has these 2 separate triggers, like enters the battlefield, leaves the battlefield. And again, when Fiend Hunter comes in, if you target a creature on the battlefield and then flicker this guy, without going into that long-winded explanation again, that creature is going to be permanently exiled. So pretty powerful interactions. Coco is a very strong card. Ether Vial is a very strong card. And this guy, Antoine, has something like 17 or 18 5-0s and other results with this deck in the last year. So Dow Swiss, so that seems convoluted. You get used to it, I think. And I'm sure I'm going to be learning a little bit this evening as well. So who's saying what? Business Guy 3000 saying, not if it isn't an instant, even if it's not an instant. All of that is happening on your turn. Come back to your next end step. Yeah, not exactly sure what your guys' point is here. Just play Flicker on your turn. Exile Tide Hollow. It comes back on your end step. Oh, true. Right. So you're right. So Flicker Wisp does have the delayed enter, but when it comes back at the end step, then you are going to get that ETB trigger, and then you can ephemerate. Or I guess you can ephemerate on your whenever you want, really, because it's instant. You can ephemerate, and then if you have an Ether Vial on 3, when Tide Hollow Sculler gets blinked and the trigger goes on the stack, you can then activate Ether Vial and blink him again with Flicker Wisp. The whole point is to try to blink the guy when he's already got the ETB trigger on the stack. So, hi Duck Pimp SSBM, welcome to the stream. I think I've almost said about enough. We'll see how the mono base goes. It looks fairly similar to Soul Herder, except I guess it's got a couple of utility lands, which makes sense with Knight of the Reliquary. If you're playing against Tron and you draw a Knight, that's you're going to want to be able to go grab like Field of Ruin, so that's pretty sweet. And then Eternal Witness with Ephemerate can just loop and keep buying back Field of Ruin against like a big mana deck. That could be pretty cool. Against a Dredge deck, we're going to go get Bojuka Bog, that kind of thing. And let's see, Flicker Wisp, I guess, can like blink Bojuka Bog. That seems pretty decent. I guess we can also fetch Horizon Canopy, but in general, Knight of the Reliquary, we're just going to want to grow that card really big by searching out fetches and just throwing extra lands into the graveyard. So it's got its basics. What I guess white is sort of the most important color. So it's got 2 snow-covered plains, 1 each of the other basics. And then how many fetches are we dealing with? We've got 6 here, plus the 3 marsh flats is 9. Again, pretty similar to Soul Herder. It's got green-white, black-white. Sorry, so where's the Temple Garden, Overgrown Tomb, Godless Shrine, of course, makes sense. 1 Razor Verge Thicket. I'm not really questioning any of these inclusions. Also have a single Once Upon a Time. You can see the lands are at 20. Pilots who have been testing different amounts of Once Upon a Time do it by like trimming lands here and there, I guess. So I think that Antoine used to run 21 or 22 lands, and seems to be running a singleton Once Upon a Time, just to sort of trim a tiny bit on the lands. Looking at the sideboard, it's definitely a collected company sideboard. You've got your 3-drop and 2-drop creatures, nice utility creatures. Aven Mind Sensor, I guess, going to come in against decks that want to do a lot of searching. You guys can help point them out to me when we come up against them. Auriok Champion coming in against Burn, probably coming in against decks with black removal, I would guess, like Jund and Grixis, Death Shadow, that kind of thing. You guys agree with that? 2 Plague. So these guys are 2 ofs, just means that I guess they're really important. And then you've got this single Eldritch Evolution, which I'm pretty sure would just come in as long as you're bringing in any of these sideboard creatures, because it effectively acts as an additional copy of any of these creatures and any of the creatures in our main deck. Gadak Teague going to come in against, like, I guess, Tron and any decks that are looking to cast big non-creature spells. Sin Collector, pretty sick against control and combo decks. Revoker, just good against artifacts and other types, like planeswalkers, I guess. This guy, great against like storm decks, artifact decks. See what's going on with the chat right now. This looks like a pretty good Stoneblade deck. I know it's not great in Soul Herder, but this is more of a Taxus deck. So you're saying like Stoneforge Mystic looks like it would be good in this deck? Not sure I see it. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's because Soul Herder is really good against Stoneforge Mystic, but like I don't care when opponents play Stoneforge against me. Like it just always seems like such a weak card. So you get Batter Skull, who cares? You know, somebody's gonna blow that thing up. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't do very much. I mean, the swords can be pretty scary, but it all just seems pretty cute, you know, like getting a creature and strapping a sword to it. It's like, you don't even know what colors you're playing against. You're just going to randomly strap like a blue-red sword or something. All right, so anyhow, I'm going to be playing Qs tonight because I have no idea what I'm doing with this deck. Mateo, what are you saying about anything that plays Titan? I was probably talking about one of the sideboard cards. This is a pretty good hand. I'm going to keep. All right. So a lot of value in this hand. So I'm going to go turn 1 Overgrown Tomb. Hopefully it's not burn, I guess. I guess we do have a wall for burn, but our lands are pretty painful. I do have to get white with this black-green fetch next turn. I love the Serum Visions. Not necessarily this one in particular, but the whole Secret Lair like drop that they did for Serum Visions is so beautiful. All right, they went 1 top, 1 bottom. This is funny. I haven't played Aether Vial in a non-Merfolk deck, I don't think. So opponent thinking about what they want to do in response to my Aether Vial trigger. All right, so I'm definitely dropping the wall here. So we probably just want to get this Temple Garden right now. Hit my life total like I'm playing Death Shadow. All right, well, opponent has nothing in exile. See if we can do something about that. All right, so they've got the cool playset. I like this guy's style, actually. 2 cards on the bottom. I can dig it. So I guess we want to hit some lands, right? Giver of Runes is a cool one. A little bit late there, though, with the Aether Vial. Not super sure. Let's see. I can get Charming Prince out with the Aether Vial. I'm probably just going to blink the Wall of Omens. So yeah, I don't really have too many choices here, right? I'm just going to run out the Giver. I haven't played with Giver, so don't yell at me if I forget to tap her or do something otherwise stupid. Just trying to think if you know, whose end step matters on this, and I don't really think it does. If the opponent wants to bolt something, maybe I can blink and save the. Just put a stop on the opponent's main phase, second main phase, so I don't accidentally miss the end step. Well, they would bolt now if they were going to. They didn't, so you might as well just go ahead and blink now. I'll just pass. Opponent's going bottom with like all of their scries. Oh, it's this. All right, yeah. I was thinking Storm, but I guess not. I don't think this is. I actually saw Antoine play against this deck. It's funny. Actually, it's the first deck that he played against in his video. I wonder if I should just scry instead of blinking the Wall of Omens. This is always a tough call, like the value of drawing versus scrying 2. I might just be dead here. So they're just going to like restore balance. That'd be terrible. So yeah, then let me go ahead and exile the wall. And then I have 6, basically. Come on, Ancestral Visions. Oh, okay. Well, it's not Ancestral Visions, but I think we can deal with creatures. Tide Hollow is a good one. little bit late, but not too late. This is actually a cool matchup because if the opponent suspends stuff, but they don't really need to suspend anything right now because they can just cast it through As Foretold. So that kind of, I think I do want to tick this up, but I can just cast the Tidehollow Sculler and then Violin Wasteland Strangler. There's a nice land right on time. Actually, I can. Oh, these things have trample, so protection doesn't matter too much. I can actually give my wall protection and sort of stop 4 of the damage. I can also turn one of these things into a 1/1 and kill it with like Charming Prince. So. Haha, restore balance. You should have cast it when you could have. So give me that, please. And what? And let's see. Reveal what I know about, I guess. Okay, can't really attack. Then pass the turn, and then blow the opponent out when they attack with these rhinos. If they play this land and try to Tidehollow, try to blow up Tidehollow, so that would be pretty nice. Well, that works as well. Peace out, restore balance. All right. This deck is so much fun. Ancestral, yeah. I don't think there's anything we can do about that. That was a good draw. It's a good draw. So we do know, oh, I didn't mean to close that, but we do know that they have a Finale in hand right now. Finale of Devastation. Actually, that's pretty rough, right? They can get more rhinos, I think, right? I think I thought that card was Electro Dominance for a second. No attacks. That's cool. Take the stop off their main. I'm getting my, let's see. On the shrine. Sure. I can go like pro green. I just Flicker Wisp just destroys a rhino. I guess that's kind of slick. I like that. But I can play Witness for now and get back Tidehollow. Did they suspend Gargadon? So I guess I should blink Wasteland Strangler, right? Maybe I vial that in to do that. That's actually maybe I just do it now so that they can't. Or maybe I do it during attacks. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that they can use to tick down this thing. So play the Witness. I just want to get back a land. I want to start casting these Collected Companies. Yeah, I don't think I can really attack right now. It's kind of a funny matchup to get. All right. Two free spells. What do they have in hand? Restore Balance kind of sucks. What is happening here? Finale. Instant Sorcery. Sack. Whoa. What is happening here? Removing. I guess they're going for balance here. Do I even wait? Why are they just sacking everything? I guess that just means that they're going for... Oh, Restore Balance. Right, they selected it. So now I can vial in Flicker Wisp. Flicker one of my creatures. Like, Flicker... I have to discard, unfortunately. One of my creatures should come back on the end step, I guess. Oh, wait, this is terrible. I can't... Wait, no, this doesn't happen right away. This is... I needed Ephemerate for this. This is the learning process, right? I'm just tucking a creature to get it back on the end step now. If I understand this correctly, which means I should probably go for Eternal Witness, I guess. Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Moving 6 counters. So it's still going to be alive. It's still going to be in exile, right? So unless they can recast Crashing Footfalls as well, I think I should still just blink Wasteland Strangler. Yeah, it would have, but I think it still might do it now. Because I don't think he's getting this thing right on this turn. Oh, they just conceded. I don't think they understand really like the ins and outs either, or maybe they understand it better than I do. But they just conceded. That's funny. Oh, and they just left. Like it's a pretty funny matchup. I need to get some more water. That was ridiculous. So the thing that was going to happen there was I would have processed that thing on the end step, and it might have seemed premature for the opponent to have... I have to resize my window for you guys as well, and people didn't remind me to do that, so I'll try to remember to do it in the next match. But I was going to have Aether Vial. The opponent, we all sacked our lands, basically. They had As Foretold, but I wasn't really going to be screwed because could still put 3-drop something straight onto the battlefield. Yeah, that was pretty funny. So I think on the draw you keep this. It's definitely greedy. But opponent's mulliganing, which makes it even better to keep. Yeah. So it probably would have been smart to do that on my turn. But live and learn. As Dredge. So I get to go get like Bojuka Bog and Scavenging Ooze. Also means that they're not really going to mess with my Aether Vial here. It looks like I have to go get black and white here. So if I draw either of the other one, I can start casting stuff. Let's see. Or even just like, a forest, I could cast Charming Prince and scry to some lands. Excuse me. All right, double Creeping Gel. That's cool. And a Bloodghast. And a Life from the Loam. So I'm at, that was triple creeping. No, I shocked myself. Oh my god, that's a triple creeping chill. So I'm at 8 on turn 2. Got a blood gas coming down with haste. That's not fair. This is unfair. Well, at least the opponent has no idea what I'm playing. All right, they get to play and get back their 2 lands. Down to 6. If I don't draw a land here, things are looking fairly dire. All right, no land. That's fun. All right, so they've got life from the loam. And what else? Now we just need to sort of dodge Conflagrate, I guess. Land, please? Say basic land would be nice. Okay, well. Okay, that was a decent dredge for us. A lot of air in that dredge. Should be keeping track of how much of the opponent's hand is lands. At this point, I'm pretty sure most of it is. Not all of it, apart from life from the loam. All right, so they're going to have 7 lands in hand right now. Guess I just get Charming Prince down now so I don't have to discard anything. I don't really care about taking things from their hand, honestly, but getting something in exile would be reasonable so that I can strangle this thing. I probably just want to block next turn. Oh, we have things in exile already, so I don't really have to worry about that. So yeah, it's time to, I guess, get Charming Prince down. I could also just gain life with Charming Prince. That might be the better choice here, honestly. Yeah, I'm going to gain life. So, opponent, Dredging Loam for the foreseeable future until they dredge something better. Oh, well, there's a Conflagrate, so I'm just going to scoop this stupid deck. All right, well, we got wrecked by Creeping Chills there. We didn't really get to do anything. Got punished by the 1 land keep, and now we actually get to sideboard a little bit. So what does Dredge not like? Doesn't like Plague Engineer naming Zombie, I guess, right? Vampire makes it impossible for Bloodghasts to do anything. Auriok Champion seems pretty solid. Evolution can go get those guys. And hey Levin, welcome to the stream. I presume you're asking about the deck. The deck is the deck that's been killing it the last few days, the last few months. It's starting to play Ephemerate, which is pretty nice. Giver of Runes, we provide a bunch of protection. Walls are solid. They don't. I guess we can take things out of their hand with like Kitesail Freebooter, but they don't run that many non-creature spells. So maybe I trim a couple of Kitesails. Although they block Narcomoebas pretty well. What other flyers do I have? Just the Flicker Wisps, I guess. Kind of like Kitesails for that that flying action. Can trim maybe 1 Tide Hollow Sculler. I mean, what am I even trying to do in this matchup? Not die. Not die, get a bunch of creatures out. The walls seem solid. Scavenging Ooze is what we're looking for. Scavenging Ooze and Bojuka Bog. I might even get one of those in the opening hand. Could look out for that. Fiend Hunter. Permanently exile something. Strangler to kill some stuff. Knight. I trim 2 of these things. I mean, I feel like typically I would never trim Tide Hollows. It just seems reasonable here. Because there's not a lot in their hand that I want to take away. Maybe Coco's a tiny bit slow? I don't know. How am I supposed to sideboard? And 1 Flicker Wisp. Yeah, this list has always had Bojuka Bogs. Like, it's the tech with Knight of the Reliquary. Been running Bojuka Bog for like a year with this list. He used to have way more techie lands. Opponent keeps 7 playing Dredge, and I have a handful of 3-drops and 4-drops. Let me turn that noise off. Yeah, this is way too slow. I need to mulligan. So we're going down to 5 here. So I'm going to keep the 1 lander again with Ether Vial. Knight goes and gets Bojuka Bog, so that's something. Auriok is blocks. I'm going to put Strangler and Prince on the bottom. Going to put Ephemerate and Strangler on the bottom. All right, Dredge opponent, keeping 7. Let me see what you got. Am I on 61 cards? Tight magic. That's how we do on this stream. Oh, sweet Jesus. All right, whatever. Mulligan to 5. That works. You deal with that, opponent. Oh my god, that's not what I wanted to get. That's absolutely not what I wanted to get. Ugh, I'm sorry, guys. I wanted to get white for sure. I was like going into the fetch looking for white. I got halfway through the fetch still looking for white. And then I saw Overgrown Tomb and I thought, well, why not get Overgrown Tomb? Oh yeah. All right, so let's get the Dredge going. Sure, double creeping chill. Seems good. So now I need to draw another land to get this Auriok champion down, but I guess it's going to be Knight next. Oh, hey. Hey now. I guess they're going to have another land and get all these creatures back next turn. Could also just go get white. It seems reasonable. Blow up their stomping grounds. Could also just blow up Blaststone, but I don't really want to give them more colors. Did they play Blaststone last turn? They must have, right? Yeah, they played Blaststone, which makes me think they're probably light on colored mana sources. Hang on a second. If I get this Knight down, it's going to be a 4/4, soon to be a 5/5. Kind of like that. Although, what do they have a Dredger? They do not have a Dredger, which means if they have Life from the Loam in hand, they could cast it right now. Whatever, let's do it. We're going to out-aggro the Dredge deck on the Mull to 5. They're just going to regular draw steps. They can't tick up the Blast Zone with only 2 lands. And they had a pretty bomb hand. They had Nature's Claim and then turn 2 Cathartic Reunion. Oh, what did they dredge? They pitched something and then dredged it. So I think they do. Of course, they have Life in the Loam in hand, I think, right? Ugh. All right. Well, I could have figured that out, but they had one more land in hand anyway. So definitely correct to play Knight of the Reliquary on my turn. But now Bog is going to be late, but... Tapped Blood Crypt. And get back the 3/2 lands from the graveyard. A little bit slow against these amalgams. So I think maybe I just like go to their turn basically, and then I can tap Temple Garden for white and then use Knight to go get more white. Protection from black is a great blocker for a while, but I feel like I need Knight for a blocker right now. Like, let them get a little bit more stuff into the yard. They'll go to combat, and then I'll block with Knight and then activate to get Bog. But then what am I doing on my turn? I guess that I am just casting Tide Hollow Sculler. Oh, well, I guess I take the claim. Otherwise, it can just blow up the Tide Hollow Sculler. Yeah. Opponent can tick up this Blast Zone. Seems slow for Dredge. Blast Zone's kind of curious. Remember, this is a mull to 5 on our side. We know these are cards that the opponent has in hand, plus Life from the Loam. There's Old Stinky. Yeah, I'm just doing it now. They can get back a Blood Gas, but I don't really care about that. All right, so graveyard down. We know they have these Narcomoebas in hand. We know they only have 1 Steam Vent in the deck, so can get rid of those if we want to with Field. Also just draw a card. Can also just make white and then sack this thing, get another Temple Garden or something, make more white. Play Auriok Champion. Seems pretty good, but I don't know. This is all like a little bit slow. Use Field of Ruin. Get a plains. Use the plains. Use this to sack the plains to get another land. I don't really care about the Narcomoebas too much, I guess. It might eventually kill me. Maybe I should care about that. They've got this Golgari Thug as well. Seems like black is kind of important, but they have a lot of other black sources. What's more important, the Steam Vents or the Blast Zone? If I tap the Knight now, though, I lose my blocker and I just sort of get overrun. So I need to wait to do that. Let's go get like black-white, sacrifice Bojuka Bog. Yeah, that seems fine as well. We don't need to get overly complicated. Do I? Yeah, I guess so. We need. I don't know. We need some stuff. Oh, this is a decent one. They currently have an empty yard, but whatever. This is the only land that I can blow up actually right now. Should have thought about that a little bit. All right. Can't sacrifice Bojuka Bog. Only forests and plains, right? We are short on forests and plains. Oozes gas, but I only have one green source, so it's pretty slow gas. This is the opponent's hand. I've got 3 2-drops. I feel like it's probably going to be hard for them to resist. Well, if they take out, the thing is, me keeping Field of Ruin on the battlefield means that they can't really do anything with Blast Zone, right? Need to be a little bit careful with my time, I think. Oh, I wanted to activate Knight. I hit just for 1 second. I hit F6 and then I canceled it, but it was too late. Whatever. Now, though, opponent can take up Blast Zone and then untap with it. So I think I'm priced into dealing with this thing right now. Now, I'd love to get more green, but I need to play this stupid Auriok Champion. So I think I need double white. I also need double white for Flicker Wisp. All right. I'm going to pass back to the opponent. Try not to F6 through their turn again. Yes, talking about subscription. Back to Earth. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Share your 2-month anniversary. Yeah, it's asking if you want to, like, I think, donate a subscription to somebody or something like that. I think Twitch lets you do that. Like, maybe you pay a little bit less than a normal subscription to gift a subscription to somebody else, something like that. So speaking of subscriptions, if any of you guys aren't actually following me, make sure you do that on Twitch. You get notified whenever I stream. And if any of you guys enjoy the stream enough that you'd like to actually subscribe, that's the best. Okay, here's this Ox. Pro Red's going to be decent, I guess. So they're discarding their hand, and then they're going to, all right, start dredging again. I don't know. This is this is all going sort of sideways. We need some cocos. We need some lands. We have a conflagrate in there now. Still no conflagrates. Got another ox though. Maybe I should use my Knight of the Reliquary now. Yeah, I'm gonna deal with that one. Kite sail. So what did they dredge? They dredged a bunch of stuff. No, night lands enter. However, no, I need night as blockers. I can't really activate it on my turn right now. They've got too many attackers. I'm going with let's see. I can flicker wisp something. Doesn't seem amazing. I think getting Scoos down, but I only have one green. I can keep sacking to do stuff. This has Death Touch, which is pretty terrible. Sort of simulated Death Touch. Plus they've got flyers. I don't know. It's getting to the point where these like 3 lands are a bit of a bottleneck. I can't just Knight doesn't make lands, he replaces lands, right? So I still need double white for Flicker Wisp. I can flicker my Wall of Omens, I guess. I should start attacking or something. Well, now in theory, I guess I'm gaining life when things enter the battlefield. I can't activate Knight on my turn. I don't know what you don't understand about that. It's just like they've got all these attackers. My life total's not very high. Unless I'm misreading the situation, unless I should be activating Knight on my turn. It just seems kind of greedy. Did they just... Oh, they got back Blast Zone. That's kind of unfortunate for us. Yeah, this game is over. I mean, like, I've got all these 2-drops. Blast Zone is just going to destroy me. I don't have any... Okay, I have a forest. That's the last fetchable green land. I could get a fetch if I want to grow the Knight bigger. I guess I can do that. I mean, my life total seems a little bit more important. I don't really want to thin the deck of lands. Let's look at that. And yeah, I guess that's what we'll do. Wasteland Strangler. They've got some stuff in exile. I can kill some stuff. And I can start flicker wisping stuff. But killing things doesn't really do that much. I'd love to combo, but I don't have Ether Vial. Yeah, but I want to draw lands, so I don't really want to thin my deck of lands. I also want to gain life, though, so I think it's more important here to... Oh, they're going to blow up my face with Blast Zone. So yeah, they've got some 2-drops also. I guess that's a good excuse to play Wasteland Strangler. It's rough. I mean... Get down some 3-drops, make Blast Zone less effective. But I'm also falling way behind on time because I'm confused and streaming at the same time. So I'm going to exile this Nature's Claim. Auriok Champion, fine. And this guy, I guess, I don't even know what the best thing... Like, all this stuff is fine in the graveyard, right? They have another Ox already. So let's just deal with the Ox, I guess. Yes. And then the Stinky is still holding us back. Maybe I should have probably hit the Stinkweed Imp. Guys, honestly, this is like so super sideways right now. Like, there's nothing I can do. Like, I don't have access to Winds of Abandon. Can't really remember even what I brought in. I'm just like lost here. Like, so now they've got me on 2 drops. They kill 3 of their own things. But I'm left just with a Knight and a Wasteland Strangler. They still have this Death Touch guy. Opponent gets to just keep getting back Blast Zone. I don't even think I really... Let's see. Don't really even want to activate Knight anymore. Yeah, let's see what the opponent goes for on the rest of their turn, and I can just play Scoos and eat 1 thing. I get to get a land back. That seems promising. Don't really know what fetchable lands I have. I guess I can just get back like a Tomb and just play it right away. That seems decent, though I might just die next turn, but I don't really see a much better option. I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do. They got some stuff in the graveyard. And we can play Scoos and eat 1 thing, but it just seems pretty poor. So this deck doesn't really do removal. It has Wasteland Strangler and Flicker Wisp, but we don't have an Ether Vial. We only had 3 lands for the entirety of the game. So opponent just went to their draw step. All right, Lightning Axe, you got it. Blast Zone's still in the graveyard. That'd be a decent one to deal with, but they have a bunch of attackers here. I think we might just be dead. Don't see any... Let me just say that I don't see any... Yeah, there we go. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. Have that. And honestly, I don't even know what my lines are next turn. I don't have double white. I've got Scoos to gain a little bit of life. Dead in the air if I go down too low. So, trade, I guess. And then they just get back their Bloodghast. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's fine. I don't know. As I said, like I'm getting a little bit bored with this game. I think it's just down the toilet. Come back to Earth. You were asking how is the deck performing? Oh my god. Okay, fine. Lightning Axe, you got me, opponent. Well done. Good cards. Doing good things. So now maybe a Coco off the top, hitting 2 Flicker Wisps to trade with this thing, and then I die to these 2 guys. I don't know. Ox is back. I just want to see what my top deck is. I can't imagine that the Dredge matchup is like so super terrible. It just seems like it got off on a really bad foot. They blew up the Ether Vial. That seemed sort of insane. I don't know why this guy is just like sitting here. Like, what is he thinking about right now? He wants to attack with the Hasty Bloodghast. Oh, was he in the process of casting another Ox? I didn't notice. I didn't see any mana floating. All right, we cast another Ox. All right, so Plague Engineer is an interesting one. That was one of the things that I brought in. We can just double check. This is a zombie. This is a vampire, I know. Imp is pretty diversified, actually. Makes me think that's not that amazing in the matchup, but just decent. All right, guys, we got spanked. I'm going to run to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'm pretty sure I just played that match and didn't resize the window again. So, I mean, it's my bad, but I'm surprised that, like, literally none of you guys have pointed it out for me. So let's try to remember that for this next match. Because I'd like you guys to be able to see the opponent's time and cards in hand and the tops of their lands and things like that. So, come back to Earth. The first round we played against blue-red Electro Dominance, which is a ridiculously good matchup for this deck because Wasteland Strangler can process cards in exile no matter what they are. Like, it can process things on suspend, and that deck just suspends everything. So we were going to process like a suspended Greater Gargadon, and the opponent just scooped. So it looked pretty poor against Dredge, honestly. And maybe you need to mulligan to Skoos, but we mulliganed to 5 or something anyway, and didn't get Scavenging Ooze. So yeah, this is only the third match. I guess you can say we're 1-1 right now. So speaking about subscription, a minute ago, I think it costs $5 to subscribe. Costs a lot of money to buy these cards, play all these decks, and I do it because I love it. But if you guys are interested in playing these kinds of decks, you might want to think about subscribing. Support the effort. It works out to like $1 a week or something like that. So we can fetch green-white, play Giver, do nothing on turn 2, witness back a land on turn 3. Come back to Earth. I think I'm pretty sure I still just have 2 subscribers. I'm pretty sure it's you and Trogdor, who is not in attendance this evening. What do you guys think about this hand? Is a keep or a mulligan? Doesn't have Ether Vial. It doesn't have any 2-drops, but the deck doesn't really... It's not like... it's more of a 3-drop deck than a 2-drop deck. Oh yeah, if you guys have Amazon Prime, you get a free subscription every month. So if you're not using that free subscription, I'd appreciate it if you threw it my way. All right, I'll try to keep. This is on you, Dow Swiss. I don't have a turn 4 play because I need to hit a land. Oh no, you're right. I do hit a land because of Eternal Witness. I said that myself. Just let's see. So maybe the opponent will just path my Giver of Runes right now. That'd be kind of reasonable. I guess the best top deck here is going to be Tide Hollow Sculler, right? All right, so we got to figure out how to deal with this thing, with this matchup here. So Wasteland Strangler is a start, but not really. Let's see. I mean, the collected companies are crazy value, so it's sort of how we can fight through decks like Tron, I guess, is, you know, they can wipe our board and then we Coco and rebuild. Not exactly sure how important Ether Vial is. Like in Merfolk, it's just another way to get more creatures on the battlefield, like, as quickly as possible. And while it is certainly that in this deck, seems like more important in this deck because you have all of these creature pairs that are synergizing with each other. I don't think I've drawn a single Ephemerate yet this evening in either of the two matches. Maybe I did and forgot about one of them. I think this Tron guy is like going to the bathroom or something. All right. So we be attacking here. Awesome. Super awesome. Nothing in exile. Can get this land back. This is all about what the opponent slams on turn 3 with Tron mana. Well, fourth land. Kind of bums me out that we have to go grab a land with Eternal Witness. I guess now I could sit on Eternal Witness to get back a collected company. That just seems slow. We need bodies on the battlefield. You might as well do the second main phase. Just play good Magic. Although, am I attacking? Am I protecting Eternal Witness? I guess I'm just going to protect Eternal Witness. Assuming my board doesn't get wiped. All right, let's go. Surprise. What do you got for me? Maybe a Karn. There we go. All right, well, Karn's gonna die at least, I guess. But then they get Ugin down, and it's just like super lights out. No, well, we do have collected companies. So he saw me get the Catacombs back. I'll just play that. This is in exile, right? So we'll stay in exile. What a silly, slow start this is. So 7 mana to blow up a land on turn 3. Solid. Typical Tron. Using their embarrassment of riches to do to do stupid things. All right, I can get down with Chromatic Star getting found. Another Karn. Exciting. Maybe blow up a creature now. Maybe protect your Karn. All right, man. This is all pretty stupid. I mean, I guess I could just play out the Wasteland Strangler. Could have just done that last turn as well. I'm gonna be careful with my green mana. Okay, I got the Overgrown Tomb in there. I think I'm gonna leave it there for the time being. Maybe a mistake? Not sure. We can, of course, always get lands back from the graveyard, but only with double green. Or white to blink Eternal Witness. That would be solid here. Like Ephemerate. Just a little bit like confusing what's going on over here. We know the opponent has a Chromatic Star in hand. We know that they take a really long time just sitting doing nothing. So yeah, again, if you guys have Amazon Prime, along with your Prime membership comes like 1 free subscription on Twitch, because Amazon owns Twitch. So you can Google how it works. I Googled it, and then I think I subscribed to this chess guy that I follow. Or I may have actually subscribed to Nassif, I think. Well, all these lands are nice, except... I guess I should play Wasteland Strangler, right? Like, what am I holding it for? Oh, I guess potentially not fetching lands. You get a basic plains here. I don't... Or basic forest still around, I guess? Or is he... Yeah, he's got my basic forest over there. Although, let's grab one of these basic plains. Not feeling losing any more green sources. Okay, 2 Karns up, 2 Karns down. Deal with it, opponent. Oh, you know what? Wasteland Strangler lives through Ugin as well. Because it has Devoid. Oh, it has to target itself. But I don't have to process, right? Yeah. So that's whew, all right. Yeah, Wasteland Strangler is colorless. It's devoid. Okay, expedition map. When he cracks it, currently has access to 5 mana. Currently access to 8 mana. Oblivion Stone with the mana to crack it. But I'm going to have 4 lands. They're doing that now? This is some noob stuff going on right now. I'm confused. His opponent has nothing in exile. I have things in exile. They have tons and tons of mana. I feel like they're just going to go for like Ulamog next turn. Bojuka Bog doesn't really, just puts things into exile, which is kind of fun, but so 2 of my green lands already exiled. Oblivion Stone, huh? Yeah, so now I have to play Collected Company into Oblivion Stone. Maybe I hit another Eternal Witness, get back Collected Company. Just get back Eternal Witness, get back Collected Company. All right. Did they play that Chromatic Star? I don't think they did. And what did they just find? An expedition map? Sweet. And they're not going to play the expedition map because they don't want to destroy it, I guess. So weird. They're just holding up to to get me. All right, last Greenland. Two Wasteland Stranglers. They're not going to... Okay, well, he's just going to get destroyed, I guess. Alternatively, I just get a Giver of Runes. I mean, I kind of like the Wasteland Stranglers being able to do some stuff. I don't know. Guys, I don't know. These matches have been so weird. Whatever. Giver of Runes seems... Okay, all right, let's... Any order, thank you. Doesn't matter. I mean, I could have gotten two Wasteland Stranglers to have a better clock. Scavenging Ooze. I mean, I'm just attacking here. Pretty terrible. Guess we want to thin our deck, but again, I don't really know what lands I have to fetch anymore. I do have another basic Plains, if nothing else, so I can play this, I guess. All right, you got me, opponent. Just like... Monday night weirdness with mono green Tron. Like, don't you play out Karn and exile my creatures? Like, the plays exiling the lands at the beginning was curious, I thought. So 2 Oblivion Stones, 2 Karns. Opponent hasn't really done much of anything. There's your expedition map. Cracking it again. 3 maps down. Okay, now Sanctum gets another big threat. There's the start. So now Flicker Wisp into Wasteland Strangler could get rid of one of these Tron lands, or just get rid of Sanctum, get rid of Wormcoil. Kite Sail, 2 Wall of Omens, Eternal Witness. Kite Sail seems reasonable. Kite Sail takes away Planeswalkers, right? Non-creature, non-land. And then it gives me something to process. Any order. That goes on first, I guess. And Eternal Witness is going to get back. Oh, you know what? I can get back. Well, I don't have green lands in here, just fetches. So get back. Oh, maybe a Giver of Runes and just play it right now. Then I can start giving protection from colorless, right? Collected Company seems slightly better, though, I guess. I'm not sure. Do they stop gaining life if I if I block with protection from colorless. I feel like yes is the answer. So it's a tricky spot. I don't like getting back Giver, silly as it seems. Otherwise, we're just going to fall, you know, quite far behind on board. Kind of hard to take a 1-drop when there's like 4 drops sitting in the battle in the graveyard. And Scavenging Ooze can start eating some stuff to give me stuff to process, but as I said, I guess Kite Sail is going to give me one of those things anyway, and already 2 Wasteland Stranglers in the graveyard, so not super likely we'll draw more anyway. Oh my god. This is why Alicia was saying she wants to play Brain Maggot, so that we can take away creatures. Ulamog. Oh, I think Ulamog is just lights out. Oh, that was my end step? That was their end step. Okay. All right, well, so that was their end step. I'm so confused. If I knew it was their end step, I might have just chosen Collected Company again because I would have known I was going to untap. I'm a little bit tired. So we know that they have Ulamog in hand. We want a Tide Hollow Scholar, right? Did not get it. So how do we deal with that then? Well, start by playing Giver of Runes. It's going to get exiled. Hope the opponent just blows up lands. That would be cool. Like, he's probably going to take out Kite Sail, I'd imagine. Just because it has a card underneath. Yeah, definitely. Faust, I think the mistake I made there was forgetting like where I was on the turn cycle. If I knew it was my turn, I was going to untap and have mana. Yeah, I would use Eternal Witness to get back Giver of Runes. I thought for some reason it was my turn, and I only had 1 mana to use with the Marsh Flats. So I took a 1-drop that I could actually play. But yeah, anyhow, my bad. Pretty stupid mistake. But having fun getting used to the deck, figuring out how it works. We're going to fall pretty far behind when the opponent casts this because they're going to be able to sack their Sanctum of Ugin. Not even sure what they found just there. Chromatic. Okay, it was actually Chromatic Star. So pretty poor Ancient Starrings. No, they found the Sphere, I guess. So we know about this, and this, and this, and now that. Yeah, I think I would have probably taken... So what is he exiling here? All right. That's actually interesting. Last land. Well, the last fetchable land I can get with a Marsh Flats. Spooking the opponent, he thinks I have Path to Exile now. So not a lot I can do at this point. I guess another Collected Company would be decent. 2 of them in the graveyard already. I passed up the opportunity to get one of them back to my hand. I'll try to play a little bit smarter in the next game. So we pretty much are always going to Coco, or often Coco, on the opponent's end step. So I need to just, like, by default, think that this is on the opponent's end step. I'm going to untap, have mana to do whatever I want to do with the cards that I get onto the battlefield. This is a bummer that the opponent's taking so long doing nothing. I'm going to fill up my water real quick. Speaking of doing nothing. All right, so do I have to block this? If I don't, then, well, like I say, technically don't. Go down to 5. Any creatures in here? 1. I only got 1 green, so I'm not really gaining a lot of life. Yeah, I'm not going to think too hard about this. Tron is one of the easier decks to play. That's such an innocent question. Is Tron a hard deck to play? It seems super straightforward. Yeah, it's a little bit straightforward. Is this game 1? Jesus. All right. Let's see if we can avoid turn 3 Tron, double Karn, blowing up our lands, and try to remember whose turn it is. I know this deck has game against Tron. So Revoker naming anything is pretty gas. My touchpad has been getting annoying. Teague seems pretty good, right? I mean, he dies to Ballista like everything else, but oh my god, my touchpad is getting me angry. Oof is solid. Turns off all of those Oblivion Stones. Mind Sensor, right? I think Mind Sensor is good against Tron. You guys can weigh in. It just stops him from searching, right? Like, what else are we doing that stops people from searching? All right, so the Mind Sensor is good. I mean, they're not casting so many spells that combo seems that amazing. Eldritch Evolution helps us find any of these sideboard things, so I think that's why I'm bringing him in. Sin Collector takes an instant or sorcery. This is relatively low impact, so I might be good on these 7 here. Cards to come out. I mean, they could be on Dismember, but I'm not going to bring in a card that I didn't, for, you know, a sideboard spell they may or may not have. Scavenging Ooze seems, well, it's good because it, we need things to be in exile in order to do, like, the Flicker Wisp combo with Strangler. Fiend Hunter exiles creatures. He can exile, Wormcoil sort of seems okay. It's one of the few things that we can do against creatures. Maybe trim some of these because they don't really kill anything. Wall of Omen seems poor. Charming Prince seems poor. Freebooter is great. We didn't see any Tide Hollow Scullers. Knight is going to get us field, so we need Knight. To leave Skoos, trim 1 Flicker Wisp since there's fewer Wasteland Stranglers. I don't know. Flicker Wisp can bounce like Tron lands. I'm gonna do it like that. You guys can yell at me. I have no idea what I'm doing with the deck. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. Like, I was so drawn to it as soon as I saw it. A lot of value 3-drops and Ephemerates. Yeah. I mean, this seems okay. Unfortunately, like, there's no Ether Vial. You cast Once Upon a Time. This would be the first time I think I ever cast Once Upon a Time. Lands and spells. I'm gonna get black white. Probably cast this on the opponent's end step or something. Black white, or sorry, black green and then green white, I guess. Come back to Earth. Thanks for the resubscription. You know I appreciate it a lot. Opponent is mulliganing. Happens pretty normally with Tron. Guess that's one thing maybe Tron players can think, you know, is a little bit sophisticated, I guess, is, you know, choosing when to mulligan. So I have to remember to cast Once Upon a Time. I see people streaming forgetting to do that all the time. And by people, I mean Nassif. All right, so no map on turn 1. We don't really want to draw more lands at the moment, so I think I'll crack this thing. Not really sure. I guess I'll crack it before I do Once Upon a Time. As I said, I think we're going to get black-green. Let's go opponent. Maybe we'll get this Tron guy to time out. Yeah, I mean that's actually a good call, I guess. Dao Suisse, but we Dao, how do you say? I know that TAO you say Dao, unless you say it differently, and Swizz, I guess. Dao Swizz. Maybe it's like some joke I don't get. It's an interesting name. I could do it if I'm going to find a 1-drop. That's reasonable, but I'm much more like in the market for something more valuable, I guess, than... Although, to be honest, I'm realizing that even against Tron, like, Giver of Runes is pretty solid, right? It gives protection from colorless. All right. So thinning the deck a tiny bit here with the Verdant Catacombs before we do the Once Upon a Time. All right, well, cool. Glad that I pronounced it correctly. So I think this is the third match. We got crushed by Dredge, and just by the nature of our deck, we crushed Electro Dominance. What is this guy doing? Oh, this is not entertaining Magic. This is some boring stuff. Oh, you pronounce Swizz like Swiss? And then Dao Swiss. There you go. Overgrown Tomb. We will say no, and then we will cast Once Upon a Time without paying its cost. And what? Opponent's like, how is this happening? You don't have 2 mana. See, I think this is the first time I've cast Once Upon a Time. Not like the cheese. Okay, like the cheese, but with a Z. Look at that Giver of Runes. Look at the smart guy telling me I should have cast it with on turn 1. You're totally right. Totally right. So I think I have to take Witness here. Seems like great value. Man, I'd love to have Ether Vial on the battlefield. Well, there's Coco. We're getting places. So, Tide Hollow with Ephemerate is a pretty nasty combo. Makes me wonder if I shouldn't like wait, but at the same time, I'm gonna have things to do on turn 3 with 3 mana, so probably just gonna cast this Tide Hollow's color right now. Opponent's clock continuing to tick down. All right, we get that Temple Garden. Target opponent. It's gonna be you. Opponent reading every word of Tide Hollow's color. we have not gotten to do too much fun stuff with Ether Value yet this evening. It was getting there. All right, what are we taking here? 2 Sylvan Scryings. They have a power plant. They have green mana here. So they're going to have access to Tron, and I would much rather, I think. Oh, you know what? Mind Sensor is going to be sick, but only after they cast their Sylvan Scrying. So, yeah, I don't see how we don't take Karn here. Although, like, what's the plan for dealing with Wormcoil Engine? Just overwhelm them with creatures? Guys have any thoughts on the gameplay here? It's I have like no idea what I'm doing. I know like Tron. I know what they want to do. Yeah. We get to attack with the Tide Hollows color next turn. Pretty good. So we've got 2 lands in the graveyard. Opponent's got the tower. that's a. If I was going to draw land, that's a good one to draw. Pretty sure I'm just going to cast Mind Sensor right now in response to Sylvan Scrying, but they're not going to cast Sylvan Scrying next turn. They're going to cast Wormcoil Engine or something else scary. In which case, what? In which case we get down Eternal Witness, so that next turn we can start Ephemerating. Like Ephemerating blocking with the Wormcoil Engine against the Wormcoil Engine, that actually seems really, really good. Yeah, they're not gonna be searching next turn. They've already got cards in hand to play, so I think I go with Witness. And I'm just gonna get back a land, I guess. I mean, it's Once Upon a Time. It's just a little bit clunky to cast. We've got Coco for value. Just take this Verdant Catacombs, I guess. Yeah, so actually pretty well set against this Wormcoil Engine. Guys, I have to run to the bathroom, so I'll be right back. I'm going to let the opponent take their turn. So yeah, I guess I could be playing for the Tron opponent. We knew that was coming. So we can go ahead and hide that. And yeah, I was just thinking of something. What I was gonna say though. Anyhow, let's do it. I'm trying to be attacking anytime super soon. We are going to be doing some blocking. Oh, what I was going to say is, I wonder if we should not be citing out Wasteland Stranglers like ever, so that I can be processing people's, cards that I take with Tide Hollow Sculler, things like that. Like how important is it as a combo piece and just like an attacker that you don't really care if you can kill the opponent's creatures, or if they even have creatures to kill. I wrote the guy Antoine who developed this deck on Reddit, but he's been inactive on Reddit for like the last 8 months, so it seems unlikely that he's going to actually see my message. But I invited him to the Soul Herder Discord. Well, yeah, it's totally possible that it shouldn't be separated out. I think I still have 2 of them in the deck. Yeah, I gotta watch out for the clock. I am ahead of the opponent currently. So do have Ephemerate blocks here against Wormcoil. So unless they draw spot removal, we should be okay. They're not going to gain life. We're not going to lose life. I don't really need... I'm just going to get a swamp here. Don't really need multiple witnesses, right? Yeah, right now. Double white is just fine. We'll cast... Just... maybe I wait. Maybe I can get them to cast this Sylvan Scrying, and I can flash in Aven Mind Sensor in response. There was a real possibility that the opponent could time out. In theory, they have a nice clock on board, but we should be able to deal with it. Maybe they'll play a forest or a star or something to get green mana. Go for Sylvan Scrying. We've got 5 cards in hand. Only the one that we know about currently is Sylvan Scrying. There we go. Number 1, you got to be careful not to spend both of my white mana. So he's going to search for a land and reveal it. And this says that he can only search the top 4 cards. Just because he gets any land that's in the top 4 cards. It's probably not going to be exactly the land that he's looking for. I wouldn't be surprised if he found a land. All right, have at it. Oh, they found a tower. Okay. All right, 7 more mana. Can't use it. That's sick. Okay, well, I might need to have like a 10-drop in hand. This is a familiar line of play. So I don't know. I guess I just keep taking the land. Keep thinning the deck a little bit. Just looping Ephemerates now. I get to attack. That's cool. Excuse me. Opponent is suspicious of this. Where is that Ephemerate coming from? I didn't pay any mana for it. Yeah, it seems like Gaddock Teague would be a good thing to get, huh? So I guess that means I should sack the Eternal Witness. I've got more Eternal Witnesses to play next turn, get back the Ephemerate. So, yeah, let's do it. I guess I'll attack first. Maybe I should just sack the the mind sensor, but I kind of like the effect. I think sacking Eternal Witness is better, particularly well. Yeah, I think it just seems better. So yeah, we go to attacks. It's like X is 2 plus the search for a creature card with conversion to X or less. Yeah. Take that, opponent. Gotta remember to leave white mana available. So we're gonna go green, green, black. Oh, what did I do? Green, black. And sacrifice that thing. All right, so I'm pretty sure that I want to get Gaddock Teeg here. Could get Giver of Runes, but it's got Summoning Sickness. This thing is sorcery speed. Could also just get Kite Sail. Night to get Field, but I'm falling behind on time, and I think Gaddock Teeg seems like a good grab. You guys can let me know why that was incorrect. Oh, you know what? It's incorrect because, well, he's going for 10 mana on, I think the big guy, right? Although he probably would have done it before attacks, right? Well, Ephemerate Gaddock Teeg doesn't feel amazing, but gotta do what you gotta do. Actually, don't really have any value to blink here. Another Wormcoil Engine. This is getting silly. We do want it in the graveyard, so I think that I'm just going to flicker this thing. Now, I guess we're taking a punch from one of these Wormcoil engines. Not even really sure what the plan is. I can attack with the flyer. It's gonna gain some life next turn though, unfortunately. I could draw a Giver of Runes, so I might just want to, well, I wouldn't play it right now since I have Ephemerate, but I probably will cycle the Horizon Canopy. This Tide Hollow is just kind of sitting here. Like, the opponent can just dismember it and get back a Karn. I get to get an Eternal Witness back from the graveyard here, and that's kind of nice. Okay, that's cool. And now we get to double Ephemerate. Seems good. Oh, I thought he had Summoning Sickness. Oh God. It's okay. Not a big deal. I have to take 6 more damage. That's unfortunate. So this is gonna try to exile in response. Seems poor, actually. Like, he could just get Karn back. Oh, no, it doesn't have 1 or less. It's true. So, I'm behind on time. That's ridiculous. Okay. Okay, so we're only going to attack with 2 things now. Not being silly. And we will combat, during combat, I think, go for Coco. Or maybe we wait. I think I'm going to wait. I've got the Ephemerates now. Why can't I... Just Gaddock prevents me from casting Collected Company. What? That's pretty dumb, actually. I'm gonna lose on time, guys. I'm just gonna scoop. This got really weird. So I guess if we bring in Gaddock, maybe we board out some number of Collected Companies. Oh, this doesn't work. Maybe I just let Teague die. I don't know. He's probably preventing like some big things from being cast. Wait, I wanted to do this during combat, but I think it's going past it. Come on. Oh, that's fun. I should have named Oblivion Stone. So that was so dumb because I got back Phyrexian Revoker. So, I got back Phyrexian Revoker. I could have just revoked the Oblivion Stone in response. I just ran out of time. But now I can cast this. That's cool. Ah. I'm dead. I'm dead, guys. So I'm getting used to the list, but I sort of had an out there. I mean, I don't know if I would have won. I'm gonna go to the replay there. I definitely rushed a little bit. I thought that it was almost sort of inconsequential grabbing Phyrexian Revoker, and I was just getting him in onto the battlefield real fast. But I think I had an out there, honestly. They only had Thragtusk as a blocker. I didn't have that much power on the board. I'm just gonna click through like all these turns. Hey B-Man Hero. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a good evening. So I just lost to Tron playing this this list that I'm just trying tonight for the first time. I somehow managed to fall behind the opponent on time. I think he just pretty much started passing the turn really fast, which, you know, kudos to them for realizing when to start playing quickly. But they played the whole match really slowly. And then I guess I got caught up with too many Ephemerates and things like that. And then it got to a spot where I think I could have just like blown him out with Phyrexian Revoker. All right. So now we have to take the turns a bit slow. They found Warping Whale. I double Ephemerate. Get around it. And here, they're going to find a Thragtusk and play it, I guess, like next turn or something. Okay, I keep Ephemerating. I've fallen behind on time at that point. There's the Thragtusk. And now, pass through this turn. Get back my Ephemerates. I can attack in the air, but that's about it. I played a Knight of the Reliquary. So let's take a look at this turn here. So they don't get in with Thragtusk because I can block with the Knight. Ephemerate with both of these guys. Actually, taking a land out shrinks the Knight, which is, you know, not the best. So I cast Once Upon a Time, and I found Phyrexian Revoker. Just sort of took it by instinct. It seemed like the most relevant creature. Now I just kind of wanted to F6 through the turn, but I could have waited one more second. The opponent put a Nature's Claim onto this Ancient Stirring onto the stack. And I just wanted to F6, like get my plays done in F6, but I could have waited to see what they got. Because they got of course they got a, God, what is it called? Oblivion Stone. And so if they did not get the Oblivion Stone, I could have, untapped, drawn. No, even if I draw Flicker Wisp, I bounce Thragtusk and he makes a token. So you can block my biggest guy. And then take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, it's pretty close, but not enough to get there. Still, not how I wanted that game to go. So, B-Man Hero, what's the deal with Stigma Lasher? See if we can check it out. Uh, um, IWTSOTWS. Can't you establish the draw step lock? Well, if you mean like what? Like, I guess. Well, you mean if I turned off the Oblivion Stone? Because as it went, I couldn't really do much of anything. Able to cast these guys. I could get back like a Tide Hollow Sculler, but I don't have Ether Vial anymore. Yeah, and exactly. I need to be like I needed to be ephemerating all the time. Yeah, and honestly, I don't know. Like I think it's like with Soul Herder, I can tell for sure. Like you have to play quickly. Okay, so tell me. I mean, the draw step lock is supposed to be. It's with Tide Hollow Sculler and double Ephemerates, I think, or something like that. Pretty sure I could have played a little bit better that game. I think that Fiend Hunter could have been good if he showed up there. The opponent also had 4 or 5 cards in hand, so we don't know which of those they were not casting because of Teague. Also, huge non-bow, for those concerned, you can't cast Collected Company with Gaddock Teague on the board. So that was a bit of a self-blowout there. I'll hustle through one more round. I feel like I'm not quite doing the deck justice. So we're currently 1 and 2. Getting defeated pretty handily by the decks that we lost to, Dredge and Tron. And my impression of the deck was that just from looking at it online, normally take out 1 to 2 Coco. Yeah, Swizz, that was for sure something that I should have done. Definitely worth it, but something to be aware of. I don't know that it would have changed my sequencing in that game, but I just kind of blindly threw him on the battlefield with a Coco in hand. I was just like, I'm going to cast this Coco whenever I feel like it. So my impression I was starting to say of the deck is that sorry guys, a lot going on here. The impression was that it has more beef than like Soul Herder, so it's just going to be able to sort of attack and win a lot of the time. But it has been very dirtily against Dredge and against Mono Green Tron. All right, we can keep this. One of the best, if not the best, opening hands that we've had so far. Yeah, you can definitely kamikaze Gaddock Teague. All right, so Swift Spear. Hopefully Giver of Runes come in handy. The wall is actually really nice. And it's nice that we get to Vial in Giver of Runes. It can surprise the opponent. That land was a very poor draw. And that is a reasonable draw. If we could protect the Tide Hollow, that's going to be pretty sweet. Totally fine just throwing this wall away. All right, it's prowess, not burn. So we are blocking for sure. They're going to throw a bolt at the wall. That's totally fine. Well, I'm going to have other creatures for when Giver is not sick, I think. And Giver's going to die fairly quickly, I guess. I guess we'll see how it goes. No, they will just bolt Giver. Knight is kind of cool. Just kind of a big body. I don't really know that... We don't really have tricks online here. I can take a card out of their hand and then go to protect the Tide Hollow. Flicker Wisp. I feel like I could save and then potentially draw a Wasteland Strangler, so I think Knight is the play here. I do need black mana at some point, I think. But I guess I can wait on it. Try to save my life total, just get another basic plains for now. Ticking up Ether Vial to 2 next turn. Yeah, but I've got Ether Vial to take the card away from out of their hand. So actually, I think I play Flicker Wisp. Although Flicker Wisp with Ether Vial works pretty well. No, the plan was to play Knight, so I'm going to play Knight. It's just a 3/3 for now. And then I guess we could Sculler now, or I guess Sculler draw step. Yeah, I guess I'll just do it that way. That's a good call. They've only got 2 lands and 5 cards in hand. They can probably cast a bunch of stuff in response. Well, they're... Okay. Monomorphos. Alright, I guess they're doing it now. But they only had 1 mana on... I don't know, whatever. If they, all right, so Giver is going after Tide Hollow. If they, I guess I go after this guy, right? If they go after him in response, I still take a card away, and they never get it back. Well, that's, oh, they're going after Knight. So they know what they're doing. And there wasn't really anything I could do to prevent any of this, I don't think. So we give this protection from red, which sort of works because I take less damage. I can block this turn. Okay, Giver down, and then let's see. Lava Dart is sort of annoying. Crash Through is also sort of annoying. Lava Dart going to exile seems pretty good. So, yeah. I think I'm going to take Lava Dart away. Yeah, I think this works out in the end, doing it on their turn. Because Pro Red gives the blocks. So we really, really want Wasteland Strangler here. Not what I was looking for. Not even close. Even like an Eternal Witness would have been sort of fine. I guess I can Flicker Wisp one of their attackers, which is pretty bomb. I'm just going to attack. I know they have the Trample card in hand. Play my dumb tap land. And who knows? Maybe I can even get a nice trade on. Well, they're going to cast both of these this turn for sure, so... So there's the crash through. They found a mountain. Here's a lava spike. I sort of like, you know, it's almost close to being a good block, but, well, less good now. But they're on 0 cards. They might think that we're dead, but we're not. And I think I'm okay taking 4. We sort of need some creatures on the board to do things, and don't really feel like chumping when the opponent has no cards in hand. Bog is interesting, but they can't really do anything with their graveyard anyway. I guess they do play that big, the Bedlam Reveler, so that helps us. I guess we have to pass here. All right, well, we got a reprieve for the moment. Ugh, this is getting a little bit frustrating. I can't even play these, or, you know, can't cast them or tap them, I guess. Sort of, okay, there you go. Getting scary. I kind of miss having access to Winds of Abandon. Okay. The reason to keep Ether Vial on 2, I guess. I need to throw this guy down just to get a body. If nothing else, I can Ephemerate him later, right? So that's something. Yeah, done. I mean, what am I even trying to draw to here? Eternal Witness? Getting back Giver of Runes? All right, I'll take it. Double Tide Hollow Scholar. Could also just take Horizon Canopy. I mean, I guess with Horizon Canopy, I'm sort of praying for a 3-drop or something like a Collected Company. I guess Tide Hollow is just kind of dead, right? I'm going to take the Horizon Canopy. There you go. That's decent. Now we just need the opponent to whiff a bit. Jesus. And I kind of think I want to main phase this. Hey. Yeah, I think I'm just going to main phase this. Eternal Witness, Kite Sail, Wasteland Strangler is sick. Oh, that would have been a reason to do it on their turn, like on their draw step, but I think we're okay. Let's see. This is my turn. I can get back Giver of Runes and play it. You can also just get back collected company. Yeah, collected company seems better. And I guess we'll kill the Soul Scar Mage. We are going to exile that Lava Dart. So that was nice synergy. And then I guess we can Fiend Hunt. Fiend Hunt? Should probably start attacking. I'm going to get in the air. Our opponent goes up to 1 card. Play their land. I think I might chill on Fiend Hunter. I'm not sure. There's no huge reason to play him out right now. Oh, they're attacking. This is weird. Oh, there's a Lava Dart in the graveyard. So I think I just Fiend Hunt now. Lava Dart can't kill the Fiend Hunter. And then Fiend Hunter can be a blocker if I want him to be. Tide Hollow, Tide Hollow. I mean, let's get this guy in the mix. So processing Lava Dart was potentially not super smart. Need to be aware of putting things back into the graveyard that are good in the graveyard. So we're going to blocks. Yeah, no, I'm not going to block with not going to block with the Fiend Hunter, I guess. Double block here. Double block here. It's going to go up to 4. It's going to kill one of my dudes. Maybe I just single block in one spot and kill one of these. Why don't I just triple block over here. Single block over there. That seems okay. Dart's going after my face. I guess that makes sense. I should only single dart, yeah. So, all right. Well, we have a bunch of creatures and a collected company. Decent draw, I guess. I feel like I should main phase this again. Maybe not. 15, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now I'm dead to like top deck Bolt, which is obnoxious. Scavenging Ooze is sick though, because that puts me at 4 again. Knight of the Reliquary could just end the game. It doesn't really even matter if they draw a Bolt at this point, right? So not blocking with Fiend Hunter. This should be a 2-turn clock, I guess. Yeah. Well, that's frightening. All right, well, they didn't get there. Wait, where did that... Did I not... Hold on a second. Okay, well, they do get to Lava Spike me. And I guess they hit Swift Spear also. Another light up the stage. I missed the Exile Zone here. So, they need land and burn? Yeah, alright, so they just hit 2 lands. Alright, so that should be GG. Alright, so got that game, and we'll go to sideboard. These matches are taking forever. Let's see. Is Comball pretty good in this matchup? Anytime they cast non-creature spells, so he kind of like forces them to target him. I think that Sin Collector is pretty good. Auriok Champion. Wow. And then I want Auriok Champion so badly that I think I bring in that Eldritch Evolution. Do you guys think that Comball should come in, or not really? It is life gain that drains, so we bring in 5, and Charming Prince does gain life, but if we're bringing in white 2-drops, it's possible I might want to trim one of the white 2-drops. Flicker Wisp are like a little bit weak to Lava Dart, stuff like that. But it is the combo with Wasteland Strangler. Trim the Knight. Trim a Flicker Wisp. I like Charming Prince for the life gain. I like all of the cards that take things out of the opponent's hand. You trim the Once Upon a Time is like a land, so I don't know. Coco was super good, but we drew a lot of them. Maybe trim one of those since it's expensive. And maybe one more Flicker Wisp. I don't know. Looking to draw these Auriok Champions, looking to get double white. Opponent didn't see Ether Vial, I don't think, or did they? No, they did. We did have Ether Vial that game, and 2 Ether Vials this game. This is a little bit slow. A little bit slow, but it's got good stuff. And we're on the draw. Gonna have the white to cast those Aurioks if we draw them. I mean, it's got spells and lands, got Ether Vial. It's a really important card. They could have brought in Braids. We do have a second Ether Vial. Turn 1, turn 2. We've got a turn 3 play. I go turn 1. Can't easily get black mana yet. Whatever, I'll keep it. And we just have to hope to draw well. Or draw what we need, like Auriok Champion would be amazing off the top. I'm probably just going to get run over this game, I think. Another land. Not the best. Sin Collector is not that great if they just empty their hand and we have nothing to collect. So I think if we draw Auriok off the top, or if the opponent kept one land, if the opponent kept one land, we could have a shot here. Looks like they may have just done that. Okay, well, both keeping weird or greedy hands. Ephemerate, not the most amazing draw, but I get to get black. And I get to, if I have Ephemerate Sin Collector, that's pretty awesome. But Sin Collector's probably just going to die. All right, so no lands for the opponent. Come on. Whiff. 2 Abrades. That's awesome. We are still pretty low on life, but this is going better than it probably should be going. Okay. So now we're drawing some stuff. Kozilek's Return. You're probably going to take that one. All right, so they found a... Are they just going to abrade this? Or let's see. Oh, they're monomorphosing, of course. So... almost certainly ending with... Well, they've got a lot of cards to cast here. Braiding my Ether Vial. All right, got it. So I think I'm going to not block here. What do we know about the opponent's hand? So they cast Braid. So that was one of the exiles. And then they cast one of the Monomorphos. So not blocking for now. All right, so we can double Ephemerate, I guess. You know, they're sitting on Burst Lightning, Crash Through. It's gonna do some damage. I should probably Ephemerate Sin Collector now. Well, I can't double Ephemerate, I guess, right? We might just... I could just double Ephemerate right away to take away like Manamorphose and maybe Burst Lightning or whatever I see, I guess. Why don't I just do that once right now after I attack? Could also just go Collected Company, but I mean Crash Through is kind of scary. Maybe the play is to Collected Company. But I'm attacking, so I do want a blocker. I guess Collected Company can get us blockers. Kind of like taking 2 cards out of their hand. But next turn I can Vial in Witness. Maybe I just go Collected Company. You try to hit like a Flicker Wisp or something. All right, Anamorphose. Lob Spike. Crash through. And Burst Lightning is going to do it unless we find some good stuff with Collected Company. So Flicker Wisp is kind of the nuts here, I think. Aurillac Champion is definitely the nuts. And then Comball is going to gain us some life, so that's awesome. Oh, this is trampling over, right? So I'm taking 3 damage from it. They don't have like infinite. Now, if they cast spells, I'm going to gain some life from Comball. So that was a good hit. Gonna go down to 5. Take up Ether Vial. You can get all the cards out of the opponent's hand now, I think. Fiend Hunter's a good one. So I think I'm just going to cast and get back Collected Company. And then I can Fiend Hunter and Ephemerate it. The deck is functioning completely differently in this game. Alright, Soul Scar Mage. I gain some life. Seems decent. One with 3 cards in hand. I've got 2 Ephemerates, a Fiend Hunter. I get to actually exile both of their creatures here. It's kind of cool. It goes a little something like this. I'm going to put Fiend Hunter into play. And, opponent just concedes. So, apparently we have a pretty good matchup against Mono Red, but I think I might have just drawn better in those games. So, it's a really sweet deck. Having fun learning how to play it. I think I made at least a handful of punts, or at least misplays in the 4 matches this evening. And yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to learn how to play it better. I hope that this guy Antoine finds his way to the Soul Herder Discord, because I'm sure we have tons we can learn from him about all the interactions. A deck does play Ephemerate, so definitely get to transition some of my skills from playing Soul Herder into playing this deck. Learned a little bit about Gadok Teague. I mean, Spell Queller is just another type of card, you know. So it's a lot of fun playing with Spell Queller and Teferi, but it was a lot of fun playing this one, honestly. So thanks very much for joining me tonight, guys. If you haven't followed me already on Twitch, please do that. Like Dow Swiss, I'm not sure if you've been following me already, but if you do that, then you'll get alerted next time I stream. And again, if you guys want to throw a subscription my way, I definitely appreciate it. But yeah, anyhow, I'll be back next Monday. Every Monday around 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I do these streams. If I get up to 5 subscribers, I'm going to try to find a second regular night during the week to stream. So if you guys are interested in that, that might be another incentive for you to subscribe. So anyhow, until next week, hopefully you guys enjoyed the deck.